We're in trouble in America. We're losing our moral bearings. We're losing our respect for the rule of law. And you look around America today and things are bad and they're getting worse. We're broke. We're dispirited. We're scared. We've been moving closer and closer to socialism, further away from God, the Constitution, doing what's right in our own eyes, and all the while not noticing that it's killing us. It's killing our nation.
Just beginning.
Americans tend to be too comfortable, slowly but surely turning their backs on the sacrifices their forefathers made for liberty. Why is that? As bad as it is, as horrible as it seems, as unlikely as it appears that we can escape, what we're going through can actually be a vitally necessary experience for us, and one that is ultimately very healthy and liberating for this country. The truth needs to be told in all the dark places, because it's the truth that sets us free.
Welcome, everybody. WorldNet Daily is live. It's December 2nd, 2024, and the Biden crime family takes center stage, along with the Democrats' deception. You know, for almost the entire controversy regarding Hunter Biden throughout this whole many years, the Biden family, the Biden administration, Democrats, pundits, they've all said that Biden will not pardon Hunter. They'll let him go through the legal process if anything should come up, and that he would never pardon him. And we've heard it over and over and over again. And not only does Joe Biden last night deliver a pardon for his son Hunter, not just for the crimes that he is currently under investigation now, or may have been found guilty of, or have a guilty plea in the system already, but he has gone back and said for the last 10 years, any federal crime that Hunter has committed in from 2014 till yesterday has been completely done. So Josh is with us, of course.
Matt,
Josh,
I'm sorry.
Yes, breaking news.
Are you saying that's when I touch my ear?
Yeah.
Are you saying that they were lying? Is that what you're getting at?
Oh,
here,
I would never. Am I alluding to that? I would never want to do that.
Well, they did tell us many times, and out of Joe Biden's own mouth, that they weren't going to do that. Am I wrong about that?
I mean, if you have evidence of that, I'd sure love to see it.
I think we might have some evidence on the show today that they are really lying, which there was no reason at all that we should be surprised by that.
No, I mean, you're right, and I'm almost surprised. I'm almost surprised that they went hard in the paint on that. On like
they went hard in the blankety blank paint, didn't they, Matt?
Yeah, and we all knew that you would do. I mean, why wouldn't you? Because even now, Republicans are coming out saying like, "Oh my God, look at their lying," but they're also saying like, "But it's his son. Of course he's gonna. Of course he would do that for his son. Pardon him. Like,
wouldn't any good parent pardon their crack smoking son for his crimes that we don't really know, and previously they were just conspiracy theories.
Right,
so
right, yeah.
A good parent would do that. It's a fair argument.
And the Hunter Biden laptop, there's Garrett Ziegler and the Marco Polo Project. Like, they have this entire laptop out in a PDF form, and you can go through and look at everything that was on his laptop. Yeah. And there's so many crimes on there, from financial crimes to possible sex crimes to so many things on that laptop that has now been completely pardoned. And apparently was all a conspiracy to begin with anyway. So we're gonna get into those clips. Also, Kash Patel,
Cash Money.
Yeah, Cash Money. Trump pegs Cash as the FBI director. So
hey, Matt, who am I? Too. Okay, watch this.
You're the deep state right there.
This is like Kash Patel will put it up, but his image and like whatever
right,
it is,
yeah.
the image they keep showing, he's like this.
Yeah, wide-eyed. Yes.
That's the look of someone coming after you.
Yeah,
right?
man, he's coming. Yeah. All right, we're gonna get into all that, but first let's show this Patriot Mobile Lab, because Patriot Mobile is on board here with us. We don't have the Patriot Mobile.
We don't have it because we have the Thanksgiving. Yeah, it's not Thanksgiving anymore.
You're right.
By
It's
the
not
way,
that. You got to update that. Put Christmas on there.
I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. We'll get a new one up here. But Patriot Mobile is going to be one of our sponsors, which we're excited about.
And WND took the entire time off. No prep until this morning.
Until just now. So, we're scrambling in the background to get an ad put together.
All right. Well, we'll forget that. But if you wanted to go to Patriot Mobile, we just do patriotmobile.com/WND Patriot. How about that? I'll just say it on the end like that.
Just go to the website or whatever.
Yes. Okay. So over at worldnetdaily.com, WND.com, here's the story on the Hunter Biden pardon. Joe Biden pulls the trigger on pardoning his son Hunter after saying countless times he would not. Our good friend Joe Kovacs over there with that article details goes through. There's posts, there's videos we're going to share with you now. So this is for all federal crimes from 2014 to 2024. Josh, I've been trying to figure out if I've seen any pardon like this as broad and as for as long a period of time for one individual. And I can't see it.
There isn't one.
Yeah, I go ahead.
And the left is like scrambling to see who Trump pardoned in his first 4 years.
Right.
There's nothing like this.
Nothing like this.
No way. No way.
In fact, a lot of the pardons sometimes come way after the fact. And the reason why you would pardon someone even after they serve their time is so that they get their civil liberties back. There's a lot of rights that you lose being a convicted felon, and sometimes people feel like the punishment was enough. You've gone through it. And I have a list here, Josh. In 1868, probably the most controversial pardon of the time was President Andrew Johnson pardoning Jefferson Davis of the Confederacy. He was president of the Confederacy. So you want to talk about like having an actual war, right?
Right.
You had a war, civil war, hundreds of thousands of people died. And the incoming president Johnson says, we're going to pardon Jefferson Davis, the president of our enemy. And I think that was probably one of the more controversial of the time. Nixon pardoned or commuted the Senate of Jimmy Hoffa after some crimes. So there, and of course Nixon himself was pardoned by Ford. So there's been a lot of controversy about pardons and stuff, but nothing to this level. And I think it's incredible. Trump posted this on Truth. His reaction to the pardon. He said, does the pardon given by Joe to Hunter include the J6 hostages who have now been imprisoned for years? Such an abuse and miscarriage of justice. Interesting. I don't know. I mean, is he trying to
answer, right? No way.
Well,
no way.
Of course not. No.
Because those people are a threat to democracy, Matt. And not like, you could compare this like to, this is dictator level, pardon my son. This is warlord level. I'm going to pardon my criminal son. That's what it is, right? Like, hey, don't look over there. They didn't even mention cocaine that was dropped in the White House. We still don't know who did that. Starting to think it might have been Kamala more than I thought it was Hunter. But
I mean, this goes, but you're right, because the crimes. I don't know if we have a list of the potential crimes, but going all the way back to 2014 is particularly interesting, and people are pointing out that's when he was appointed to the board of Burisma, that Ukrainian energy company, and that's when Ukraine fell. That's when the U.S. did a coup in Ukraine.
Yep.
And when Biden was vice president. I mean, everything always seems to go back to Ukraine.
I think the Ukraine rabbit hole, Matt, is we're going to have years of unwinding what that was. Yeah. But it is a giant thing to hide that Joe Biden was part of, making money on an energy company there. Okay, breaking. Well, that's from yesterday. Did you want to read that, Matt?
Yeah, this is the
this is the announcement.
2014. So it goes all the way back to 2014. We posted this on X. 2014 is when the CIA and the State Department took over Ukraine. It's when the Hunter's biolab company, Biota, began looking for coronaviruses in Ukraine. So Joe didn't just pardon the drug and gun possession charges, right? It's not. Yeah. People are saying, "Oh, this is just about the gun possession." No. This went all the way back to 2014, and it could have been. It covers all of Hunter's criminal activity with regard to Ukraine and of course China. Any federal charges in this are extended to Robert Hunter Biden there. So this is a, as Joe Biden once said, this is a big effing deal.
Did he say that?
Oh yeah, he said that about Obamacare, I think, or something.
Oh geez,
man,
back when he wasn't mumbling through oatmeal.
Exactly. But let's watch this clip here of Biden and the White House saying that they would not do any of this. Let's watch this clip.
I'm extremely proud of my son Hunter. He has overcome an addiction. He's one of the brightest, most decent men I know, and I am satisfied that I'm not going to do anything. I said I abide by the jury decision, and I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
Yeah, he won't pardon him. Yeah.
Well, that was then.
Of course, yeah. But also then his press secretary, KGP, she was up there all the time saying,
Karine
no.
Jean-Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, let's watch her.
But from a presidential perspective, is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No. Well, I just said no. I just answered.
The president would not pardon or commute the sentences for his son, Hunter. I just want to make sure that is not going to change over the next 6 months. The president's saying he would not.
It's still a no. It's still a no.
It will always be a no.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no, and I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No.
His son, Hunter, is also up for being sentenced next month. Does the president have any intention of pardoning him?
We've been asked that question multiple times. Our answer stands, which is no.
President Biden says that he's not going to pardon his son, Hunter. Is he going to ask Donald Trump to do that?
I don't have anything else to share about that. I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole on this. I've been very clear. The president's been very clear when we've been asked this question.
Would Trump do it? I love that. Josh, it's incredible. Do you think they feel duped? Do you think she feels, I mean, has she done her press conference today?
They don't care, Matt. Like she's been one of the worst press secretaries we've seen ever, but like there's no point to the role anymore, or there wasn't in the last 4 years. They just stand up there and say, they say, we don't want to answer that. And then they lie. And so she's a comical character. It'll be really interesting to see where she goes after this. You know, there's no it's not going to be an MSNBC to land at. It doesn't look like, but
right.
Yeah, no, lying liars and the lies they tell. Who wrote that book? I can't remember.
It really is incredible. But I mean, so the talking point comes out from the White House, right? Like Jean-Pierre up there saying no, right? Then that extends down into the MSNBCs, the CNN level pundits that are out there saying no, that would never happen. And then they put on their own spin on it, on why it shouldn't happen, why it wouldn't happen, and why no one is above the law, and of course we would just go, like, they go through it. And then Scott Jennings, God bless Scott Jennings, man, the warrior on the front lines out there in CNN. He delivered when he heard the news. He laid this down. You guys got to see this.
Joe Biden is leaving office making the strongest possible case for Donald Trump that anybody could possibly make it, and that's that our government and our justice system is of, by, and for the elites and nobody else. He ran to banish Trumpism from our political system in this country, and he has left it politically and now institutionally the strongest possible political force in this country. It is a complete and utter failure by the head of the Democratic Party and the President of the United States. Never again do I want to hear, oh, Donald Trump's a liar. You can't believe anything he says. Donald Trump will abuse his power. Donald Trump will only use the system to benefit himself and his family and so on and so forth. Never again. I have one question for Karen, and that is, why did he need an 11-year blanket pardon going back to 2014 when Joe Biden was the vice president? We are sitting on the biggest cover-up of who knows what crimes, and Joe Biden amazingly knows exactly, roughly, when it started. He knows just about when it all started.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big
She can only
question.
just laugh.
Of course, yeah, but if it was only for the gun charge or a drug charge, like why 11 years? Why 11 years?
The simple answer, Matt, is Joe Biden is essentially pardoning himself because what was it was Hunter working with the big guy, right? Remember, that was what was in the emails. He's working with the big guy to ingratiate the big guy, to pay off the big guy, who gets, what was the percentage? Was it 30% or something like that?
10% for the big guy.
10% for the big guy.
Yeah,
He's not talking about God here, people. This isn't a tithe. So that's the most likely scenario. Is what's he doing? He's covering, his own ass.
But there's so much, like, for instance, like when it comes to the rules of pardoning, like, you can't pardon yourself, apparently. There's you could try it and then it would probably go to the courts, but the general understanding is you can't pardon yourself, but you also can't, they say you can't pardon somebody if their crimes would implicate you. So there's going to be some interesting things going down here if something were to pop up. But the whole idea that you would just do a 10-year or 11-year pardon for any crimes that may have been committed, because you can pardon somebody before they're charged with a crime, right? You can say there might have been a crime that you have committed, but we're going to wash that all away. It's what Ford did to Nixon. If Nixon was or was not involved in any of that cover up, he was pardoned for it before he was even charged. So for the Democrats to walk around and say, like, oh, what are you talking about? There's nothing to see here with that 10-year. They just laugh it off like that. It's absolutely ridiculous. Another Democrat, Andrew Weissman, whining throughout all of this stuff, saying that Biden would never. I mean, this is the most juicy, delicious, like, morsel of clip here, saying that Biden would never do this because he's such an honorable person. Watch this.
He's so honorable.
What is before us is a president who is living the rule of law. He is living it in the most. Yeah. In the most like personal way. He is not pardoning his son, which he could do. These are federal charges. Right. He is not doing that. He is not doing it because he is living what it means to have a rule of law in this country. Yeah. And if you want to know if he believes it, you could actually see what is happening with his own son. I'm not saying that he should get credit for it because it is the right thing to do.
That's the norm, but Trump is beneath it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's that the idea that you can't see it, or is that really what's going on? Right. Or when you can see what he is actually living by is his own son is being prosecuted, and he is allowing the norms that are required to live in a democracy to go forward.
Thank you, Maze on X. I mean, that account, that Maze account, they pull such the best clips. They just go back in the archives and find stuff like that. That guy is so, it's
creepy,
like,
dude.
Like, I hope everybody has someone look at them the way he looks at Joe Biden.
This defense is so over the top too, Matt. Kathleen Ann saying Biden's whole administration has been nothing but lies, and he and Harris have to be the worst president and vice president ever. I think that's correct, Kathleen. I think it's gonna turn out that way. Matt, that guy was so creepy. His effeminate affectation, just he is doing what you would do. I don't. He didn't even say anything.
No, they don't. They have nothing. There's no substance there. There's no there. There's no substance.
No there.
Like, yeah, they just and then they play off each other with the the what's her name, whoever she is at MSNBC. Like they lap it up, they eat it up, and it's all drivel, just like being poured down your throat if you're home watching this stuff. And then we wonder why these people walk around and they're just so triggered by every little truthful thing that comes at them. But yeah, again,
Matt, one thing I want to say real fast too is, I'm sorry, but if you are one of these folks, this is someone's grandparents or someone's uncle and aunt or even friends, young, and you still watch this stuff and you still listen to these people, you're out of excuses, and you can't say anymore that, no, I listen to the authority on this. You got nothing left. I mean, now you're just a fool. If you still believe this, you're a fool. I'm going to say it.
I don't know why anybody would listen to Andrew Weissman or anybody else that these people have on. It's just it's incredible. It really is incredible. Sometimes though, CNN, they can't avoid saying the truth when it's staring you right at the face. Listen to this clip here, admitting that the pardon is for everything in this span.
We were told that this sort of came to a head this weekend, and this is why President Biden decided now to do this. But as Isaac was just saying, that really is a sense of the conversation that has been going on really inside the family. And I'm told this has been very much a family discussion and something that has been not widely shared or discussed as a policy matter inside the West Wing. But there was a worry of future prosecutions or future potential of what the incoming Trump Justice Department could do. So that, of course, is freighted in all of this as well. But for now, this moment, this certainly is a decision that President Biden, I'm guessing, did not come to easily. But as you played that statement before, so much has changed since June when he told David Muir of ABC News that he would not do that. Of course, his station in life has changed. He will not be a second-term president, did not complete his campaign. So that is why, sort of leading up to this, that's why I'm told a decision was reached finally this weekend after spending time together in Nantucket.
Yeah, and he said he didn't want to delay it further.
Yeah, okay, so there's some reasons there, right? When he said he wouldn't do it back in June, it's because he would still be president, so he probably wouldn't have prosecuted his own son, right? I mean, it's so obvious.
I mean, the thread here that's the segue that works nicely is, in theory, I think he was always going to pardon him, but they are concerned now, right? Like, they're genuinely concerned that it's not just that there's some bad guys coming in. It's that people that will actually respect the letter of the law, they're coming in.
Yes.
You know what I mean? These aren't revolutionaries. They're going to actually use the law now.
Yeah. I saw Chuck Grassley say he was shocked that Biden did this. He didn't think he was going to go back on his word. And I'm like, Chuck Grassley, like, come on.
Don't be so naive. It's
don't
ridiculous.
be so naive. Even
it's willful too. Willful ignorance.
It is willful ignorance. And yeah, and before we get to Kash here, Joe Walsh, who suffers greatly from TDS syndrome, he was like floored at this pardon. Let's listen to what he said.
That. So the next time any of us complain about anything Trump does, this pardon is just deflating. For those of us who have been out there for a few years now yelling about what a unique threat Donald Trump is, for Joe Biden to do something like this, Trump, nobody's above the law, we've been screaming. Well, Joe Biden just made clear his son Hunter is above the law. Donald Trump lies every time he opens his mouth, we've been screaming. Joe Biden repeatedly lied about this. The politicization of the justice system, Donald Trump and his people have been screaming. Well, that's exactly what Biden said here.
Joe,
No one is above the law.
That's right. That's right. No one is above the law. I mean, come on. It's so blatant. And then it begs the question, like, usually these pardons happen like on the last day before they leave office, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
here's all the quick pardons. But I mean, this one comes out, it's December 1st. It came out yesterday. We still got a month and a half before the Joe Biden's term ends. Is this just the appetizer? Like, who else are we going to be pardoning?
Yeah, they know that, like, even with only like a month left to go, people are starting to make phone calls, right? So,
Yes.
like, you're going to be the ambassador of whatever nation, get to start to make phone calls. They're really worried whatever those are going to reveal. And they're getting out ahead of it. And they did, right? They got out ahead of it. This was the big thing hanging over our heads. By the way, let's not forget that there may be some element of like attributed to the Trump's loss in 2020, to the fact that the Hunter Biden laptop story was completely suppressed.
Right.
So, like, I think this is going to go down in history way bigger than we can imagine, as far as like, yeah, there was this guy, Hunter Biden, but like, if it all unravels, we'll see that it may have cost an American election. Think about all this, the dominoes, the economy, weird COVID reaction.
We still don't know what all those biolabs were doing in Ukraine.
But we know they were looking at, COVID variants, corona variants. My gosh, like, it's like a bad movie plot, but unfortunately, it's real.
Well, with this, one can only suspect, especially with Joe Biden and the Democrats being so close to Hollywood, that if I was P. Diddy sitting in my cell, I'd be calling up the White House with a list of requests, and I'm sure there's plenty of other people that are doing the same thing right now. I mean, we have Hunter Biden. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible what we know, what we have visually seen on his laptop. And then there's so much stuff we haven't seen, and we're going to get into Kash Patel and some of the things that he said he would do if he had the keys to the FBI. So it's just incredible. I mean, this is exciting times.
Hey Matt, real quick, I want to jump in. Kathleen, thank you, Kathleen.
What did Kathleen do?
Love your show. We really appreciate that, and we would ask a favor of you if you love our show. We tell your friends about it, and we will later in the show we'll talk about, we have a new YouTube channel. We'd love you to go and subscribe over there, but I'll go into my long please subscribe spiel later. But Kathleen, thank you. We appreciate that comment. That's a great comment.
Yeah, that's a great comment. Kathleen over there on Facebook, it looked like too, right?
Yep.
That's great. Awesome. Okay. Well, Kathleen and everybody else out there, hope you're protecting yourself from the winter cold and the winter flus that are flying around here. Whether or not you test yourself for COVID or whatever it is, this is the stuff that helped my family get through the pandemic and just get through flu and cold season. It's all about getting your immune system in check. It's all about keeping inflammation down and not even having to deal with those symptoms. This is Dr. Zelenko. You can go here, use the QR code, use the promo code to get 5% off a Z Stack or the Z Shield. There's Z Nighttime, there's Z Spike, all of the Z's. Z for Zelenko's, the Zelenko protocol. Hit that QR code or go to the link in the description on whatever platform you're on and get yourself set up for the winter cold and flu season. The products are kosher, they're non-GMO, and they are made in America, so they won't be subject to any tariffs.
That's good, Matt.
Yes.
100% tariffs coming everybody's way.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do it, right? 100%? What do you think?
Man, I think he's going to, you know how Trump is. It's like he's going to, it's the art of the deal over here, you know?
Always. All right. Well, we'll keep track on that too. But so let's get to this. So over the weekend before the Hunter Biden thing that dropped on us, I mean, everybody was abuzz about Kash Patel. Kash Patel named as Trump's nominee to head up the FBI. And Kash Patel, if you have been a student of watching the Russiagate hoax, the spying that's been going on, and where Devin Nunes has has been very early on in the administration. Kash Patel was, there's the eyes, right? He's coming for you, Josh. He's coming for you. That's great. Yeah, you got it, man. You got him.
This is how he's looking at that decision right now with Hunter Biden.
Yeah, that's right. He's like, what else? What else can we do? But yeah, we have the story over at WND. We put that up there. But here's what's so exciting. If you've been watching Kash Patel, is that he is all about declassification.
Yeah,
and he makes the point that, and maybe it's in one of these clips here, that Josh, that there should be some sort of classification process for state secrets, the things you don't want to fall into enemy hands that don't necessarily affect the daily lives of American citizens, that we should know it, right? There's certain things that we don't really need to know because it might hinder the ability to protect us with foreign nations and such. But Kash is saying that there's way too many things that are classified that don't need to be classified, and we can go back in time, history that shows all this. I mean, what's your take on the way the government uses the classified process?
Well, like we're in a really weird time right now, Matt, because like if you look at like X or the internet, whatever's going on, there's a lot of like what they call UAP, UFO. Oh, yeah. We used to call them conspiracy theories. That title was created by the CIA, conspiracy theory. It was created to shut down conversation about conspiracy. But there's a lot of stuff like we've wanted to know over the years that's been shunned from us, and that's because of the effects of the powerful, the elites. That's kind of like what we were talking about with Hunter Biden. This is a rules for thee but not for me idea. It extends to everything in our powerful system, because the powerful, they get to go first in the system. They get to get what they need from the system first. It protects them first, and these are the elites, and we're done with that. So putting Kash in the FBI, he's going to have a unique point of view to look at things that have been classified, kept away from the American people, and he's going to say there's no reason for that. And guaranteed, all of these things that have been classified, we're going to find out that those exposed powerful people, or the elites, right? The folks that get, their system, not the one we have to live by.
Right.
I'm excited, actually. What a time, rolling back so many years of this since Hoover.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to see here that what they're hiding, what they're redacting from reports, a full report. I mean, so much information is to protect certain group of people, namely these elites. So let's watch this first clip here. Nick Sorter, he's great. I think he's on Tim Pool. He shared this clip of Kash Patel over on X. Let's check it out.
Need a 24/7 declassification office, whatever you want to call it. Transparency, truth, whatever. I don't care. Sits in the White House, reports directly to you, and you take incoming from the United States of America. I want JFK. I want the 9/11 files. I want this. I want that. All the FBI, and this is a tool, this is something we didn't cover. What the deep state uses the most to cover up their corruption is an illegal application of the classification system. Remember the Lovebirds text from, this is a beauty, the Lovebirds text from FBI, DOJ land, Russiagate, Strzok and Page were texting each other. They were running the Russiagate investigation against Trump. They were the head of the counterintelligence unit at the FBI, and they're having an extramarital affair together. Can't make this stuff up. They're sending each other texts about how much they hate Trump and are going to create an insurance policy to stop Trump. Then we finally find those text messages. You know what the FBI and DOJ do for like a year? Redact them to congressional investigators and congressional men and women running the oversight of their agency. That's just one example. But it gets even better. Here's the deep state full circle. Just last week, do you know what Strzok and Page received from the Department of Justice?
What?
A $1.5 million payout to settle a lawsuit that Strzok and Page brought for the improper disclosure of their personal text messages on FBI phones. And the DOJ just rewarded them. They broke the law. They broke the chain of command. They broke every regulation there is in the FBI. They weaponized the system of justice against a political target they hated. We found those text messages, and we got them declassified finally in full when I became Deputy Director of National Intelligence. And the world has now seen them, and they can read them. And that's the best form of transparency. That's why I want this 24/7 declassification office. Don't have me regurgitate it to you. Read it. Get the documents, get the files, get the memos. But the deep state came full circle and gave these guys a payday for rigging a presidential election and breaking the law. So now you know what happens. That's step one. Step two, get America the truth. And that's what that office would be for.
Oh,
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. Oh. I bet if folks in the comments, comment if you knew, maybe some of you follow the news. Did you know that Strzok was given a $1.5 million payday? I bet a lot of people don't know that. It came and went in the news, but like,
sure.
So not only were they not prosecuted, I love it. Like it's such a Karen thing, right? Like that's the bureaucracy. They turn around and they go like, you didn't do it. You didn't disclose my illegal and wrongdoing the right way, which is illegal. You know, like it's
and I need millions of dollars.
You got to pay me the price of a pretty, a decent house in DC. I want a house.
But that is a perfect example. That is the perfect example of things that were redacted and classified that had no business being redacted or classified. These were two agents who were working on this spying operation under the guise that Russia was controlling Trump and Trump was working with Russia. And they were sharing messages with each other, talking about how they will stop Trump from becoming elected. And it wasn't like in the context of, oh, he really is a Russian asset. It was simply because they wanted Hillary to win in 2016. And so, I mean, why should that stuff be redacted? Why should that stuff be kept from the American people? We need to know, we should know who's in charge of these investigations, especially when they turn out to be sham investigations. I mean, the hindsight here proves that it never should have been redacted in the first place, you know?
Yeah. And Kash is talking about some really great stuff too, Matt. So for instance, like, there's a ton of people that work at the FBI in DC. I can't remember the number. It's like maybe 5,000 or something, maybe more. And he's like, first of all, they don't all need to be in DC. Put them in different offices across the country to fight crime. That's their job. But another thing they have is they have intel like groups, right? This is what Strzok was part of, an intel group. Why is the FBI running intel ops that are national level, right? That's what the central intelligence agencies are for. And it turned out that everybody had like their own spy operation. And he said that's one thing he's going to do. He's going to fire all those people. And another exciting thing. So Rosebud, oh, good reference there, Rosebud. Great.
What is it? Put it up.
Yeah, here, I'll put that up real quick.
Oh, someone just said Rosebud?
Rosebud, a user name, Rosebud.
Oh, yeah.
Said they didn't know
about the
that.
payout.
And I thank you for commenting that. Yeah, a lot of people didn't because, we're busy running our lives, trying to pay for our lives. And they're busy breaking the law,
and
hiding it, and getting paid for it.
And that's taxpayer money.
Yeah, man. I guess we're the suckers.
And think about the part. Let's going back to the pardon thing real quick. What was going on with, from 2014 to 2024, even when it just comes to Ukraine, is all of the money, all of the loans and all that stuff that was being sent to Ukraine of taxpayer money that then was somehow, I imagine that's finding its way into Hunter Biden and the Biden family and friends' bank accounts. I mean, this is like, you would think, nobody was harmed in this. These were victimless crimes or nonviolent crimes, but actually, like, that's our money. That's our money. He just pardoned him for it.
Yeah, I mean, Matt, there's not to segue hard to Ukraine, but guys, like, Trump's going to come in and very likely create a peace deal in Ukraine, but there's probably 500,000 dead Ukrainians. What was all this for?
I
And it's gonna go back to the corruption.
Well, and this goes to Kash here talking about how Trump came in here to end these forever wars and to end all this stuff. He's not a neoconservative. Let's watch this clip.
Donald Trump came in not as this neocon conservative. He came in as a guy who was like, I'm going to end the forever wars. And the Democrats like, no, that's our deal.
He was pointing the finger at Bush and Saudi Arabia for their involvement in 9/11, which was huge. And I was like, holy cow, I can't believe Donald Trump is actually talking about this on the national stage, breaking the orthodoxy, talking about these larger truths that got everyone so energized about him. And you know, we need that talk more than ever now.
When he said to Jeb Bush, your brother lied?
Yes, about 9/11. Not only that, he made other kind of statements about this.
Dude,
he talked about investigating 9/11. He talked about auditing the Federal Reserve. Those are the populist kind of sentiments that resonated with so many Americans.
Hey, well, the Federal Reserve is a whole other deal. Anyway, the other thing that I put in the book that I recommended the boss to do hits on this. We need a 24/7 declassification office.
Yes.
Rolling papers out 24/7. And not just like JFK and not just 9/11. You're talking to the guy that's read the whole 9/11 report and those 7 pages that people talk about. But I believe, as like the guy who is an intel guy who believes wholeheartedly in the classified system of information, I believe that it has been over-abused by these corrupt officials in government to hide the truth and enact more corrupt activities. So what I told the boss was like, I don't care what you call it, truth and reconciliation, whatever, come up with a better name. But every agency and department literally submits all of their documentation. And I believe you could get half out. Half. I still think the other half needs to remain classified. I'll always argue that it does serve a purpose. But like you're seeing in these documents in the Jack Smith case, they're just redacting stuff that they lied about, that they broke the law.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's used to protect themselves.
And it's a public document in federal court, which is a document for the people of the United States. And we can have you run that office. You can come in and just be like, hey, I want all the Saudi documents.
I'll gladly do that.
I'd
be so happy.
So Luke will be the press secretary for the Libertarian Party.
The declassifying
the
documenter.
Viceroy of declassification.
Absolutely. I like that.
There you go.
I'm in. You got where do I sign up?
Yeah. But I think that's how you earn the respect. Like you said, Donald Trump started talking about these things. Then we started putting these documents out there. And remember when I ran Russiagate, right? They came after me and said, if you put out the Nunes memo and you put this out that you wrote, our enemies and our allies are going to get murdered. No one died.
Oh man, I could watch these clips all day, Josh.
One big takeaway for me, Matt, is like Kash Patel seems like a normal person. You know what I mean? He doesn't seem like some weird
he's
bureaucrat.
Not talking, yeah, he doesn't talk like James Comey or Bill Barr. You know, he's like
These
common
guys are
sense.
fake. Yeah. He's in a t-shirt almost the entire time. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I think like this era of like the bureaucratic aristocrat I hope it's over, man. Like,
well, there's that era. I mean, like, look, we have these other clips here. I don't know if we get to all of them here, but I mean, he talks about like, 9/11, JFK. I mean, there could be stuff on the Vegas shooting. There could be stuff on Clinton. There's obviously the Jeffrey Epstein list. Ray Epps, J6. I mean, even like the Oklahoma City bombing. Like, who knows what we don't know about all of these things that may or may not lead down dark paths, or it may lead to shed more light on the narrative at that point was true. The point being here is like you just said. I mean, he feels like a guy that I used to hang out with 10 years ago, where we would all sit around, or you and me here right now, like we're just sitting there going, "What really happened with the JFK? Why won't they show? Why won't they show this? Why won't they show that?" And then one of us says like, "Hey, do you want to go run the FBI?" I mean, the reaction that the guy had there on that Timcast clip was like, "Yeah, I'll go do that. I'll be the declassification guy." Like Kash is literally going to be that guy. And it's not like he's going to go in there with a sledgehammer. He says there are certain things that still need to be classified, but there's, what do you say, like 50% doesn't need to be.
Right.
I mean, there's so many investigations, there's so many scandals, there's so many things out there. I mean, even everything from like when the DOJ went after moms at school board meetings, or arresting Catholics in front of abortion clinics. I mean, all of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
up for grabs.
J6 is going to be unwoven as far as like what they were hiding about that. Oh man, I don't know. Matt, I mean,
I know, man. I know. We gotta pray. Get your
bro. A month ago, man. Jeez.
Yeah. Do you want to go through some of these other clips? I don't know how long they are. I mean, we just kind of spilled it, but
let's see that. Maybe the Ray Epps one. Let's check that out.
Yeah, let's do that.
I think as a former federal prosecutor and a public defender who defended a lot of these types of cases, what you need to show is whether or not the FBI and government agents were using undercover operatives and informants on the day of January 6th. Because if you can show that, they've been at, hang on, but the paperwork shows having run informants, that's a 6-month buildup minimum.
Right.
Minimum. It's not like they just dropped them into the Proud Boys and said, hey, go, don't disrupt, please. So once you prove that, then you defeat the insurrection narrative with the FBI's own documentation. Forget what the videotape shows.
Just for people who you can't see what's going on in the room, the reason why Kash just said hang on or whatever is because I started smirking and rolling my eyes. And what I meant to convey with that is, come on, we know they were involved.
No, look, I totally
clarify,
agree.
Though.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I know definitively. What I'm saying is a reasonable suspicion is that there were agents. There's a video showing a guy with an earpiece pulling people into the building. All right. Mm-hmm. You combine that with the evidence of Ray Epps, and it looks like you have a preponderance of evidence suggesting there may have been federal law enforcement involved in making that thing happen.
I'll get you beyond.
So
I love it,
Matt. That clip does an amazing job of making a point I've long asked myself and asked people in conversation is, the federal government takes forever to do anything at all. How did they so quickly plant agent provocateurs into J6? It always blew me away. Like, how did they do that? And what Kash is alluding to here is it could have taken as long as 6 months to come up with this plan. And it always made me think like, wow, they really had a plan. We're only barely starting to understand now that was always the goal. Don't forget the pipe bomb. Still don't know anything
I was
about
just
the
about
pipe
to
bomb.
say, yeah.
Dude, the pipe bomb, man. And so also, this is going to say, I'm going to segue into a little bit of a doomerish thing here, or just a little concern is, guys, what are we, did they concede? Are they not planning still?
Right.
The inauguration's coming. What do they have in mind for that? The idea that they would have nothing is just, that's in itself a miracle that they would concede.
Well, I mean, a lot of this stuff, takes money, right?
Yeah.
And I read something about how somebody was kind of curious as to why there hasn't been mass protests in the street.
Right.
Like, where is, like, Antifa kind of disappeared during the Biden administration, but where have they been? Where has all of these, women marchers and all of these, the Answer Coalition? I mean, going back in the day, like all these provocateurs that flooded the streets of Seattle and Portland and Chicago and everywhere, like they're not there. It hasn't happened. And one of the things is when you look at how much, I mean, it looks to be almost $1.5 billion was spent by the Kamala and Democrat Party during the campaign in that 100-day mad dash for the election. Is that where all the money went? And was it all spent there? And there's nobody's giving money to these to organize these protests, because it takes a lot of money to get the buses. Like your local Antifa leader is gonna charter buses to bring you to Washington D.C. or to bring you to the big city. I mean, I don't know. But it's very suspicious and
it's a little too quiet.
It's a little too quiet. You're right. It's a little too quiet.
Yeah.
So, well, that's why you need to make sure you have got 12-degree angle on your grip. You need that 12-degree angle on that grip. You need the Kung Fu grip.
Great defense segue there, man. I love it.
Why not, right? Difrico, scan the QR code. It'll take you right to these grips. And Josh has some. I have some now. I hope you have some. You got the package that it comes in. Check that out, man.
That's cool, right?
It's super cool, man. And that's and there was a sticker inside mine. Did you get a sticker?
Boom. But the best part is that you put this on your rifle, and it looks awesome. It's tactical furniture, as they say.
That's right.
Guys, get you first of all, you need to go get an AR-15 if you don't have one, okay? Because we're Americans, first of all, and this is just part of being American.
First. You can get the grips first.
Yeah, get the grips. Okay, this is actually, you'll find out the minute, if you don't have a rifle, the minute you get one, everything's expensive for rifles. This is not, and it's a great product, and we like what they do. Matt, I got to tell the guys, I need that shirt. I'm going to wear that on one of our episodes here. It's George Washington with laser eyes.
Yes.
Fantastic. So guys, please support that company. I know they have sales going on over there right now. It's like Cyber Monday or something, but great products.
Happy Cyber Monday, everybody.
Yeah. Happy Cyber Monday. Also, Matt, we have, I think let's go ahead and do our Patriot Mobile thing real quick here.
See, we do. There we go.
Yes.
Look at that.
There we go, guys. Hey, things are a little better, but they've never, our phones, guys, they're always with us. They're always listening. Apple doesn't have your interest in mind. Patriot Mobile. Matt, I know you got the spiel. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to add here. One thing I learned about Patriot Mobile is that they, some of these that are not AT&T or Verizon, you can only access certain networks. Patriot Mobile has the ability, has a contract to access all of the networks: T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon. And so if there is some sort of panic mode you need to hit, like Patriot Mobile will still be able to connect. So if you're worried about that, not being on one of these things, they do that. And so that's great. So
it's a normal phone service, just from a company that's actually conservative and doesn't hate you and your family. Which is kind of great. Scan the QR code, go over there, use the promo code WND Patriot. We would love for you to support them, and that supports us over here with our jokes and two good-looking men talking about politics. Matt.
Oh, hello. There it is. I need something that attracts the deer to my spot, even when it's 25 degrees out, so I can get a deer this season.
That's a little bit more complicated. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. Yesterday was the last day for elk, I think, here in our neck of the woods. But
yes.
Yeah. But deer, you can go out for deer. Very good. Well, get that 12-degree angle. That probably helps too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it does, because it just makes you faster at the draw and faster at the trigger pull.
Yeah.
And then go ahead, Matt.
No, I was just going to say, we got to do the Rumble thing, right? You got to do your Rumble rant.
Yes. And I want to share this. So if you see this, guys, we have a new YouTube page. So this episode right here went live to the new YouTube page. Previously, we had like 10,000 subs. We want to build this up again, guys. There you go. Why are we doing this? Because YouTube is extremely difficult. They don't like WorldNet Daily. And why don't they like WorldNet Daily? I don't know, because we're talking about things that are real and truthful. So we started a new channel over there. It's WorldNet Daily News. You'll see it. It has almost no subscribers. So we'd love you to go over there and hit subscribe and even watch over there. That would be awesome. There's two major social media companies that still have all the eyes. Okay, folks, it's Facebook and YouTube. And we're on Facebook. They don't censor us as much. YouTube absolutely does, but we would love you to still follow us there, because by you following us there, other people will come over and see it. And we still love Rumble. Let's throw up the Rumble thing. Go to Rumble because, like a trusty friend, Rumble does not hit us with, copyright strike garbage. YouTube still claims that, one of the songs we have that we've licensed is not licensed. I don't know what to give them. I don't know what to do at this point, but Rumble doesn't. So we'd love you to go over there and hit the green follow button, which tells us. See, I'm seeing a bunch of comments here from Rosebud and Nicole. You guys are watching on Rumble. I really appreciate that. We love that you're watching on Rumble. And then,
platform. Of
course, X. We have the breaking news on X. We were really early last night with the Hunter Biden thing. About at the time that it came out, I think our delay was 30 seconds. And so if you're following us on X, you will know the news faster than everybody else around you. So we'd love you to do that. Of course, our Instagram account is a lot of fun. Okay. if Diddy happens to hang himself in his cell, God forbid, you're going to see that news on the WorldNet Daily Instagram feed, and you're going to know all the background. So we'd love you to go over there. Of course, Telegram's going to become super valuable right now, and they're going to see some of the stuff going on in Syria. And this is like the best thing for breaking war news, just the way Telegram does it. So thank you. If you listened all the way through all of that, I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
what's that?
They're patriots.
You're a patriot, sir. You're a real American, as Sean Hannity used to say.
That's right. You're a real American. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, great. All right. Well, Josh, good to see you. I'll see you in person here shortly. We'll be back here on Wednesday, everybody.
Guys, thanks so much. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Take care, everybody. God bless.